Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Sarah and I am the mom of a 14-month-old little boy named George. And today I'm going to be taking you along for a day with us. We are doing a day in the life with a 14-month-old. We typically start our day off by waking up and nursing in bed. George and I still share a room because we live in a one-bedroom. So I'll get him into my bed and we'll nurse for probably about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we get up and we brush our teeth is the next thing we do. So I get him set up with his toothbrush, I do my teeth, I check his teeth, and then we do a diaper change. We currently do a stand-up diaper change routine. He is way too big to be lying on his back. He just hates it, so we do the stand-up thing, and as you can see, I just give him some toys to play with, and it's pretty easy. Then I offer him his hairbrush. He loves to brush his hair. This is a comb, actually. We have a brush, too, but that's what he does. I take my medication. I have a thyroid thing ever since I was pregnant, so I take that. And do my floss and my mouthwash routine, and he just kind of plays. He's got some toys, he's got some books. Of course, he gets into my drawer, so I have safe things in there because he always loves to get into that drawer. He loves doing my hair too, which is adorable. Sometimes painful, but we're working on gentle. Now we're ready to go, and the next thing we do is feed the cats. He's been feeding the cats for a few months now. He's not great at it, but definitely getting better.
Time to feed the kitties.
He knows just where to go to.
Can we get their bowl first? Okay, put it in the bowl.
As you can see, he's not great at it, but that's okay. We are learning, and he knows to pick it up and put it in the bowl too. By the end, we definitely have a lot on the floor, but not to worry. I still use it. I sweep it up and then sift it out, and we still use it to feed the cats. We don't waste it.
Okay, I think we need to sweep up. We'll bring it together.
So I actually filmed this about a month ago, and now he does it all by himself with 2 hands. However, we did switch over to plastic bowls after breaking 2 of the glass bowls. Okay, so it is now 7:15 a.m. and we woke up at 6:20. So that is the beginning of the morning routine. It takes almost an hour. Everything is a process, that's for sure, but that's okay. I start every day with a glass of warm lemon water. It really hydrates me from the night, and I just find it easier to drink because I'm not a huge water drinker. I'm trying to get better. The lemon helps a lot, and also just very cleansing, and citrus helps to wake me up in the morning. So as you can see, there's a little bit of, dishes from last night, clean but ready to put away. And I'm going to put a porridge in for us. A lot of the mornings start our day with an instant pot porridge. So that's what I'll be doing. All right, breakfast time. This porridge recipe is so fantastic. It is 1 part oats, 1 part water, and 1 part fruit. I typically use steel cut oats, but they're having supply issues at the grocery store, so this is just whatever oats I have on hand. And I typically use frozen blueberries as my fruit of choice, but you can switch it up. And put in the Instant Pot on porridge setting for 1 minute. That's it. I use a 1/3 of a cup for myself, a 1/4 of a cup for George, and I put our bowls in there together. I usually sprinkle a little bit of chia seeds in there, a little bit of cinnamon, and then when it comes out, I put a little bit of peanut butter and some hemp hearts on top. It is delicious every time. While we're waiting for our breakfast, we go into the living room, turn on some music typically. I don't do screen time, but I do have the music on the TV. It's Valentine's Day, and I have some Valentine's Day stuff set up on his shelves, which is fun. We take a look outside, see how the weather is for the day. Our mornings right now are pretty slow-paced, and I really like it that way, just soaking it all in. And when the porridge is done, I get George into his booster. I give him a little bit of fruit to tide him over while I finish up with the porridge and get my coffee, his milk that I pumped the night before, all that stuff. By this point, hopefully I've finished my water and it is time for that awesome cold coffee that I made from last night. I don't bother making a hot coffee in the morning because I just know it's just going to go cold anyways. So I make it the night before and it's one less thing to do in the morning and it's ready to go. And yes, I do still give him pumped milk instead of cow's milk. That's just my choice. I feel like if I'm gonna give him milk, I might as well make it my milk. Next up is some playtime. I try my best to slow down at times and just sit back and enjoy him, observe him, see what's going on, try to let him do his thing, and watch him at the shelf. We'll often go for a walk at this point in the morning, but it was really cold. It's February here, so we've been spending a lot more time indoors. We might take a walk out to the garbage later, but not like a full-on walk. It's also been really snowy, so it's been challenging for me to get the stroller around. We just enjoy inside, enjoy each other. And on this day, Dave had to get on the road early in the morning. He often doesn't leave till the afternoon, but today was a little different, so we just kind of hung out, and I started to do some cleaning up so that Dave could kind of do his thing in the kitchen. And I would sit and watch George for even longer, but honestly, I might fall asleep if I sit for too long, so I have to start cleaning at a certain point, and I do love to nice this. So I do the couches and just kind of tidy around, play with George at the same time. He loves to jump in the pillows and, you know, have fun. So just hanging out while Dave gets ready for his day at work. Next up is vacuuming, and George loves the vacuum. One of these days I'll get him one of those baby Dyson vacuums, but for now he just adores when I do the vacuuming, so he likes the help, he likes to run around, he likes the sounds, he likes the button, you know, all that stuff. You also might notice that I'm wearing flip-flops, and the reason for that is because I'm small. I have a hard time finding slippers that fit, so flip-flops are just like easier, and I just can't stand the crumbs, the feeling of the crumbs on my feet, and there are obviously crumbs everywhere all the time, no matter how much I vacuum, so that's why I wear flip-flops in the house. It's just to save my feet from the crumb feeling. Also, if anything liquid spills, then they're easy to wipe up and clean versus slippers. Anyways, my intention here is to put away some laundry. George likes to, air quote, help me, which basically means dump things out and put them back in and attempt to fold things, which is super adorable, but definitely slows me down, so I'll probably refold this at nap time. Moving into the bedroom, time to make our beds, continue to attempt to put some laundry away. And George just plays. I have a little shelf set up for him in my closet over there under my clothes, and he's got his rocking horse in here, which he loves. So he continues to play. I continue to kind of do my thing, but play with him at times. It works well. He helps. At some point around here is when Dave has left for work. George wants to get on his rocking horse at this point. I found this rocking horse on Marketplace for $10, and it ended up being way bigger than I thought, but he'll grow into it, and he loves it already, so it's absolutely beautiful for $10, so it's definitely a supervised situation.
Rock, 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 yeehaw! Okay, you want Mom to get the learning tower?
Circling back around to the kitchen now that Dave has left for the day. I've told him already that we're going to do dishes, so he knows that that means learning tower and an activity up on the counter. Like I said before, this is around Valentine's Day time, so I actually had already made him like a Jell-O dig type thing, which he played with the day before, and I figured I could get one more day out of it by putting it in the fridge, so had that all ready to go in the fridge, and he just enjoyed playing with that little sensory activity type thing while I did a few dishes. It's time and make tea. So I started doing tea time with George. It's just non-caffeinated tea, and I do it at a pretty low temperature. Obviously it's not hot. So he makes it with me, kind of, and then while it's kind of like steeping and cooling down and I'm getting the actual snack ready, he went to go play and decided he wanted to do some chalk, which is fun. And now it's snack time. I feel like I'm constantly either making a meal, feeding him a meal, or cleaning up from a meal. Does anyone else feel that way? It's just constant. That's okay though. So we had some muffins that I had made, and I like to smear them with cream cheese for a little added protein, calcium, and all that stuff. And then some tea called Sweet Tart, and oh yeah, some apples too. I try to do a lot more fruit sort of in the morning hours, and then in the afternoon hours I do a little more of the veggie side. A little less sugar in the afternoon. Typically, once we've had a few bites to eat, then I'll bring out a story. Usually at the library we get a couple of board books that I can just have out for him on his forward-facing shelf. But then we also get a couple of picture books, which I don't trust him with because they could rip, so I have them up where he can't reach, and I will bring them down and we'll read a proper story, usually a longer story, because I know he's going to stay put in one place. And he enjoys it while he eats his lunch. This one was a story about ballet. So we've been working on trying to get him to sit on the bench while I put his boots on and get him to stand still while I put his coat on. He hasn't shown an interest getting himself in his coat or boots just yet. So yeah, we work on him sitting on the bench for me to put his boots on and him just standing still to put his jacket on, which is very difficult at times. So it takes some time, you know, and a lot of patience, which is usually fine for sure, but just because we're running a little low on time right now, I decided to put him in the booster instead to get his boots and his coat on. As you can see, it's just easier. He just chills out and I can just get him dressed. So yeah, sometimes you gotta pick your battles, you know, and when time's the crunch, then you gotta kind of decide what's more important. And right now I think it's a little more important for us to get outside before nap, because I do like him to get outside before the nap. All right, you ready? Got our garbage? Good to go. Since we've had such cold days and also it's been so snowy, it's really not realistic for us to be able to go out for a proper walk. It's just not safe too. So what I've started doing, just to at least get out a little bit and also to do a chore at the same time, is we've started to take the garbage out. So we live in a complex where there's an actual garbage area, and it's really not that far at all. I mean, if I walk it myself, it literally takes me like 1 minute. But if it's toddler-led, it's a solid 10 minutes before we actually get to the garbage area itself. And then if we loop around the building, it can be like at least a half an hour walk if we take our time. So it's better than nothing, and he gets to walk around, be in the outdoors. He's stopping playing with the snow since it's been snowing, so it's better than nothing. Oh my god, that was brutal. Like, so brutal. Hey, George? Ugh. You know, the thing that gets me about the weather, it's not the, like, I can deal with the cold or the hot or the rain or the snow, like any of that stuff. It's the wind. The wind just gets me. Like, it's brutal out there. It's so windy. And at first when we stepped outside, I was like, oh, okay, you know, this is good. Maybe we can go for a walk this afternoon. No, once that wind got going, oh my gosh, it just cuts right through you. I cannot handle the wind. That's a hard no. Nope, we will not be going outside today. So we did our walk, we went to the garbage, we looped around the building, and I could not wait to get inside, let me tell you. So it's perfect timing. It is 12:08 now, and he's going down for 12:20, so just enough time to get us both undressed and story and tuck him in for his nap. Look at that mama with that stroller. Good for you, girl. I get it. But no. Look at her go. Look at that mama.
with the stroller. Not for me. Can you hear that wind? Ugh. Not today. So George is down for his nap. He went down super easy, which was great. He'll probably sleep for, his average has been about an hour 20, an hour and 30 minutes, which is, in my opinion, super not long enough. We just transitioned to the one nap, and I used to get 2 naps at about that time, or at least a nap and then another 40-minute nap. But having only the one nap at only an hour and a half is just like, it's super not enough. But anyways, who knows? Maybe he will. I'm thinking like the more he gets used to it, the more he'll be able to nap longer. And also maybe if we like get out more and he's more stimulated, he'll be able to nap longer. But it's been cold and COVID and we haven't been doing anything. So it could be that he's just an hour and a half is really all I need because we're not doing anything all day. Anyways, right now I typically will either work or I will have a shower or I will hang out with Dave. Today, since Dave is working close to home, he's actually coming home for his lunch, which is going to be, he'll be here around 1, so in about half an hour. So I'm going to hang out with him while he has lunch. I'll have lunch with George when he gets up. While I'm making lunch, I'm going to catch up on the news and refold that bin from earlier, maybe do a little bit of tidying. This morning I did a ton of like cleaning and tidying. It's not always like that in the mornings. Sometimes, you know, we'll have breakfast, we'll do quick dishes, and then we'll just get out. But today, you know, Dave was up and getting out the door, so that took some time, and it's freezing cold outside, so we weren't going to go for a walk anyways. And sometimes I just like sit back and observe him and watch him play and do a ton of that today, you know, and just enjoy him with my coffee kind of thing, or I'll read beside him. But I was more in cleaning mode this morning. So with that being said, this afternoon I'm going to cut it out on the cleaning a little bit. I don't know if you guys get this, but I have a hard time. I love having a tidy space, and with a 14-month-old, it's like next to impossible to keep the space clean. So as quickly as I clean it up, he will be making a mess behind me, and it's just like never ending. So at a certain point, I do have to kind of let it go, and this has been one of my biggest struggles of becoming a mom. So I did cleaning this morning, and I'm going to tidy a little bit while he's napping. This afternoon, I'm really going to focus more on hanging out with him. I think we're going to bake something or cook something or something, get in the kitchen a little bit. All right, relax time. I love hanging out with him. I love being a mom, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't like nap time too. George just woke up from his nap. He napped for an hour and 35 minutes, like I suspected. That's okay. Dave came by to have lunch, so what I ended up doing for lunch is I just made a quick pot of pasta, whole wheat macaroni, and we had leftover tuna salad in the fridge, so I just added some frozen peas to the tuna salad and put it with some fresh whole wheat pasta, and we're gonna sprinkle some cheese on top of it and heat it up, and that's what we're gonna have for lunch. We're also gonna have some green beans because for some reason George is really loving green beans lately, just raw. But what I thought I would try is we're gonna do lunch at the weaning table since we have the time. I don't know, who knows what's gonna happen this afternoon. We're just gonna let the day take itself where it wants to go. So yeah, we're gonna get cooking lunch. When George wakes up from his nap, one of the first things I do is I nurse him, so he has a little bit of a full tummy. It won't last long, but it helps me to get lunch organized, so I'm not rushing.
So here we are at the weaning table again. George and I like to have some meals here, some snacks here. I would like for him to be able to eat completely independently and get up when he wants to, but he is just not good at staying still while he's still eating. And even if he's not done, he'll still start to play and eat at the same time. And I just have an issue with eating and doing other things, the choking hazard factor, and it's just a thing with me. So we do work on it with some snacks and some meals if I have the time to. And in the meantime, we have a family table that we all sit at to eat. He's in a booster for that, and I'm going to MacGyver some kind of a step stool situation so he can get in and out of it easily by himself. But I'm taking my time on that because it is a high top table and I want it to be totally safe. And also I just don't trust him to stay until he's done eating. So I don't know. This isn't super Montessori of me. I'm kind of back and forth about the eating thing, so we're trying it out, and as you can see, it went well for a while, and then he started to get antsy. So slowly it's getting better. Also, he's a little bit small for this table and chairs. I've seen people cut the legs off the table and chairs so that it fits them better, but I don't want to have to buy another table in like a year's time. So for now we have a stool and I help him out.
I think we need to sweep.
Best part for George is the cleanup part. I love that he loves to sweep. It's so adorable, and it's just his favorite. So here we go, sweep time.
I know. You want your keys?
If you follow me on Insta, you know that George has a key obsession. He loves sets of keys. He has preferences over different types and sets of keys, and I made this little cardboard thing which he basically just puts the keys in and out of. It's like fake keyholes, I suppose, and it keeps him occupied forever. So I just do a little cleanup of lunch, get the leftovers put away, and then we actually decide to just hang out for the rest of the afternoon. After having lunch at the weaning table, it really did take quite a bit of time. So if I was going to do anything with him in the kitchen, then that would have been the rest of the afternoon as well. And I just wanted to kind of relax. I was feeling tired and kind of slow. It's winter time, and so we just decided to kind of hang out for the rest of the afternoon. And instead I did frozen chili that I had in the freezer. Popped it in the Instant Pot, and that was it. Also, George seemed to need a little one-on-one time, so that was a factor too. Here goes my attempt to just sit and enjoy. I find this really difficult. There is always something to do, always something I could be doing, and I just need to keep reminding myself to savor the moment, be mindful, and just watch him, because I keep hearing how fast it goes, and I've realized it already goes fast, so I don't want to look back and think I spent all my time cleaning or doing other things. But it's a struggle to stay sitting when I know there's other things I could be doing. So it's an ongoing learning process. Can you relate? And don't even get me started about working parents. I do this YouTube thing, but I cannot imagine being a working parent and balancing it all. It's hard enough to balance when I'm a stay-at-home parent. I just can't imagine doing it while working. I have so much respect for working parents. It must be so incredibly stressful. So kudos to you guys that are out there. It's stressful for us stay-at-homers too, but the balance is just tough for all of us, you know? Then I sit here and I start to think about if I were to have multiple children and dividing up my time and attention, and that must be challenging as well. I mean, eventually I'll figure that one out, but it's all just a process, I suppose. We're all just doing our best, aren't we? What are you doing? Running on the spot? Peekaboo! Peekaboo! Boo! I see you! Peekaboo! Peekaboo! Boo! I found you! I found you! I see you! What do you got? You're doing it! Daddy? I think Daddy's home.
Hi! Did you just say hi? He just said hi.
I heard. The silver lining to living in an apartment is the view that we get from our patio door. I love, first of all, that we have that patio door, especially right where it's situated by his play space. He can see out the window because it's low, and we get a cool view because we're a few floors up and see the birds and the trees. We're west facing, so you can see sunsets, and I just love the light that comes in at this time of the day and the warmth of the gold as the sun sets. I'm really grateful for this aspect of small space living. It's definitely a silver lining, that's for sure. We had our dinner, all three of us together, and then it was time for bath and bed. George's bedtime routine these days pretty much just looks like get him in the bath, play, wash, baby powder, and lotion, brush teeth, brush hair, PJs, bedtime story,
That's it, it's time for bed, mister.
song, and into bed.
I think your shirt needs to go in the laundry.
And that's pretty much it. He goes down super easy, and it's so sweet. And then 5 minutes after I've put him into bed, I miss him. But then it's nice to have some time for myself. I can get on my phone and check out what's going on social media, catch up with work, catch up with friends, watch some news. I try my best to stay away from screens as much as I can while I'm with him, so keep the phone away and keep the TV off. If the phone's out, it's mostly for filming, but even then I try not to make it obvious, and if it is obvious, then I try to make it quick. So. And then it was time for bath and bed. Dave just recently started a tap dance delivery service, so basically he will show up at your house and do a tap dance for your loved one, and tonight, it being close to Valentine's Day, he had a Valentine's Day delivery to make, so that was what we were doing this evening. After George went to bed, Dave went back out and did a little bit of a side hustle. I got some work done.
It's 7:15. George went down for 7 o'clock. And 6:55, and I'm just ironing Dave's clothes for his performance tonight. He'll leave probably in about half an hour, and then I will clean up from the day and hopefully get some solid work in. I'm gonna call my mom for a bit, and that's a day. Usually I get into bed around midnight and wake up anywhere between 6 and 7 typically, and that's it. Thanks for hanging out today, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.